The Ink and Paint Club podcast is intended for mature audiences. I know we're usually talking about kids' cartoons and stuff, but there's going to be naughty language. Anyway, listener discretion is advised.
You're listening to the Ink and Paint Club podcast, your weekly home for animation reviews and discussions.
Alrighty, everybody, welcome to this week's episode of the Ink and Paint Club podcast. I am your host, JD. Kyle had some family commitments, so he unfortunately will not be joining us. But this week we're doing something a little different. I'm going to be interviewing some nice gentlemen from a cool little gaming startup company that has a new game coming out. So we have Nick, who's here.
Yo.
And Liam.
Salutations.
Hey. So these two guys are pretty cool. They've got a company called Right Stick Studios, which is putting out a game called Wonder Wickets here at the end of the month, which you guys should really check out. It's going to be on Steam. And I'm just going to be talking with these two nice gentlemen about how the studio got started, how Wonder Wickets came together, and just learn about their process and all that stuff. So if you guys are ready, we'll just jump right into the questions.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yep. Okay, cool. So my first question, I guess, is how did you guys form Right Stick?
Let's see. It was like years and years ago, back in like 2011, 2012. Originally, I started it with someone else, and we were trying to make games for a while. And eventually in 2014, we actually established it as a company where we started to take it more seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I helped, once I realized that Nick was trying to make a game startup and we were working really well with each other, we just decided, let's start actually making this a business and make it official.
That works. That's pretty cool that you guys are able to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess my other question is, like, where does the name Right Stick Studios come from?
During when we were like just trying to throw game ideas at the wall, and a lot of our games had a similar function in which it used a right analog stick to do a lot of cool things, and we're like, oh, these are so cool. And we kind of started to see the right analog stick, or the right stick, as kind of like a symbol of creativity and innovation. So we're like, that sounds like a great name to name the studio.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, because when I think of like a right stick on a controller, I just think it's mostly for camera work. But if you guys are able to put new and interesting spins on using it, that's kind of cool.
It's kind of like a lot different considering they were focusing on PC games.
Right.
So, but
I mean, it's still an interesting name to give yourself. So I mean, at least it's got that.
Also, it just clearly states video games. So.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. Didn't want to confuse with anyone else on that one. It really reminds me of like Ape Escape in the early game, where when we learned about the second joystick and they really showed it off. That's the kind of innovation that we like to show off.
Yeah.
Ape Escape was really cool when it, being able to use the stick like that. So I mean, that's cool that you guys are using that as inspiration for like your driving force for your games and stuff. So I mean, I know there's you, the both of you, but do you guys have anyone else that's involved in the studio?
Technically, we only have us two as official members of Right Stick, but we do work with many parts of the community. We've contracted out other team members. We're planning on adding a few to actually being full members of Right Stick soon.
Okay.
Some of them have just been volunteering, helping out, just beta testers, people who just want to help us succeed, and we thank them very much. We've even given them special credits in Wonder Wickets currently.
That's awesome. So I hope you guys are able to really build up your studio and get a nice team, a nice network going.
Oh yeah. We're always looking for more people, just anyone in any department, and we're always willing to give them a chance.
Yeah, ideally someday it'll be more than just me doing like 90% of the work.
Yeah. I mean, granted, that is really the downside here. That Nick does a lot of the programming and the art.
It's great to have a lot of control, but sometimes it's like, I wish I could just kind of pass this off to someone else.
Right.
I mean, I keep everything else moving forward, but Nick is really the person making the games.
So Nick is more like the technical end, and you're more the business end.
Yeah, I just cover watching over everyone else.
Gotcha. Oh, that works. I mean, you always need a manager, right?
Exactly. And it's really helped us out. Great teamwork between us.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good to hear.
He makes sure even I'm on task.
If I don't, he'll just go off and do absolutely nothing for months.
Maybe I need to get Will to be my... I need to get Will to be my manager, too.
We'll talk. We'll talk after the show.
Sure.
I'm a slave driver, though.
Sometimes I need that to get my shit done. So yeah, that's really cool. So you guys are putting out a game called Wonder Wickets, which is really cool. And I've followed Nick for I don't even know how many years, and I've always really dug his art style. So this game is like super cute and really kind of has a unique look to it. I'll give it that. So I guess we can start talking about that game. So when did the development on Wonder Wickets start?
It was about November 2016 that I started working on it. And it was only like a month or so that I only just started, hey, let's start working on the concepts for this game. And we just decided to just go like, let's just take a break from the other game we were making and work on this.
Yeah, because you were developing kind of like a dungeon crawler before this, right?
Yeah. Well, top-down adventure.
Right.
But yeah, it was much, much, much bigger, and the original idea was actually for Wonder Wickets to only just take a month or two of development. We can see how much that turned out.
It's been almost 2 years, or a year and a half.
We're too much of perfectionists when it comes to this kind of stuff, so when we were like, okay, we got to throw this, we got to have this. Oh, what if we have this? No, it was not going to happen in a month.
I mean, that's not always a bad thing.
No.
It's also because the Indiegogo did so well that we just made more than enough to do everything we wanted for the game, so let's go full ham.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's what it's there for. So Wonder Wickets is, I think has a lot of elements of a lot of different things. So I'm kind of wondering, what was your inspiration behind the concept of it?
Well, during the first part of development, hey, we want to do a sports game. Generally, we've been pitching the idea of a golf game in general. I was actually prototyping a small golf game on the side while Wonder Wickets, the other game was being developed. Just something fun little project that I was working on. Generally, we've also been just thinking about, what if we just did a mini golf game? We generally like the concept, and we thought that we could take a new, fresh appeal to it.
Mm-hmm. I've always been a huge fan of mini golf and mini golf course designs.
I gotcha. Yeah, when I first saw this, and I'm sure it may have some inspiration, but I immediately went to Kirby's Dream Course just because I think around the time that you guys put out the first trailer, the first concept for, I was watching the Game Grumps play it, so it's oh, this is kind of Dream Course a little bit.
Admittedly, yeah, we were watching Kirby's Game Grumps play Kirby's Dream Course prior, and we were like, yeah, this is really great. I have definitely also had like my love of mini golf, of course, is actually like I realized comes from watching Kirby's Dream Course as a kid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But not only did we take a bit from Kirby's Dream Course, but I also was inspired by Mario Galaxy. That's where the space theme came from. I'd say that's just like, and a lot of the level editor and enemy design. I was inspired by how Mario Maker handled things.
Okay.
I thought it did a lot of things very smart, and said, yeah, let's take this as inspiration.
I actually never even heard of Kirby's Dream Course until Game Grumps played it, to be honest. Like, it actually came to me as a complete surprise that I never even heard of this game, and then I saw gameplay. I'm like, this is amazing. This is absolutely fun. Why are we not playing more of this game right now?
Right.
Yeah, part of it was also kind of capitalizing on the idea of having a game like that, but on PC or modern consoles that has network access, so people can play with each other.
Yeah.
Through the internet, not just on the couch.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much every game now has like an online multiplayer component. So this kind of game, being able to play it with people online, I mean, that is that is kind of nice feature to have.
It became an essential for development.
Oh, for sure. I imagine.
I myself actually play regular golf as much as I can.
Oh, nice.
So it's definitely a very good hobby. I'm terrible at it though, along with Wonder Wickets, but that's besides the point. Terrible at this own game.
Right. So you guys mentioned that you did an Indiegogo campaign, to just raise funds and stuff. So I've never had an experience with having to do crowdfunding. So what was your guys' experience with crowdfunding?
It was very interesting because it was a whole nother beast that we just never experienced. First off, we've never really sold a game before. I mean, in general, because this is our first game. So it was just, that alone was a different experience, knowing that someone's buying our game. But even more so, it was just an amazing thrill just seeing our goal met. Multiple of our goals met. And just seeing how much outpour of the community was so interested in something like this. It just baffled us to know that people were actually interested. And I take it as a deep positive.
Yeah. How much did you guys end up making by the time it ended?
Oh, I can't remember.
I think
putting you on the spot.
Yeah.
I have like a bookmark right here I can look at.
Yeah, he kept the bookmark.
We raised about $1,100 between the Indiegogo and the PayPal on the side.
Okay.
Which, as I mentioned, was well over how much we intended to make to cover everything.
Plus, we also had a few extra donations down the line that also helped out a lot.
That's good. So did you guys, I don't remember exactly, did you guys offer any kind of like incentives for donating?
Yeah, we offered the OST, the game itself, of course.
Beta
access, yeah.
Oh, that's right.
And
art book.
I'm getting that put together.
Some exclusive content.
And we had some what else? Character and monster creations.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Both character creation slots were taken.
Right. Yeah, we can talk about that here in a bit.
Yeah.
Right. Well, those are they're pretty cool. I mean, I have played the beta. I played it a little bit, so I can attest that the music. I really do dig the music in the game. I think it's really cute, and I wouldn't mind getting a hold of the soundtrack myself.
Yeah, I think our musician did an amazing job. Like,
Yeah.
more than I could have imagined.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and obviously I'll put links to both of you guys' pages in the description of the podcast, but if you haven't seen Nick's artwork, it is simply adorable, and I think you guys would really dig it if you checked it out. I mean, like I said, I've been following his art for probably since high school. So
His art is fantastic. It's the reason why I got gravitated towards him.
Mm-hmm.
Stop it, guys.
You're gonna make him blush.
Here's a little side note. Nick and I actually became friends over a Minecraft server.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I said, "Hey, I'm
That
holding
is
a
a
Minecraft
fact.
server." I'm holding
That's
a Minecraft
funny.
server, and me, Nick, and one other friend got together, and that's how we started becoming friends.
That's funny. Well, I mean, you're friends now, so that's awesome.
Absolutely.
So you guys were doing this mostly on your own, but then you brought on another company. I'm correct on that, right?
Yeah.
Animes, right?
That's correct.
Right. So, who are they exactly, and like, how have they been helping with the development?
Well, as much as I know, Animace is another game developer, and I know they made like one game before we started working on Wonder Wickets, and they released another game while we were working on Wonder Wickets. That was Aliens Go Home Run and Skeleton Boomerang.
That's
Okay.
correct. Yeah.
And the owner of Animace, he approached us because he wanted to look into getting into publishing or producing, and also wanted to help us with the funds.
Nice.
So they helped us with a portion of getting our budget going
Okay.
before we did the Indiegogo. And he's also been helping us with getting in contact with people, streamers, Let's Players, and ePress. Since he released the game before, he had a few more people he could contact than us.
Nice.
And he's also been helping us with like Steam and other services that he was used to, getting that stuff set up.
Right. So you're saying that he came to you rather than you going to them.
Yeah. Just kind of caught us off guard. Like, hey, I want to, help you guys and produce for you. I was like, whoa, okay, all right.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, I will,
Just have someone
I will
come
say. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh,
about that.
no, go ahead.
I will say one thing. Animace, they're a great team. I met with multiple of the team members, and they all anyone who wanted to help really has helped us out greatly. A lot of very talented people, and I really respect their team a lot.
That's awesome. Well, I'm glad you guys were able to get some help like that, and for someone to just come out of the blue and say, "Hey, I want to, get your guys's help you guys get this out." I mean, that's really cool of them to do that.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, anyone who comes into this game, I think right away is just like we've been, praising Nick here. I think the art style is really one of the biggest draws to this game. And one of the things, I've really admired over the years is just Nick's ability to do really interesting character designs. So, I mean, every character in this game is, unique from the next one. I mean, no two characters are similar, and which is really great for when you have like a cast of characters in a video game like that.
Right.
So, like, what was your process behind like designing all the characters and like the environments for this?
I always have a hard time explaining like my design process because a lot of it just kind of comes natural to me.
Sure.
Just like looking for inspiration and just putting that all together. But one thing I can explain with designing all the characters for Wonder Wickets is that I think I probably designed, like, I had a huge surplus of character designs. In the beginning, it's just like, oh, let's just do like 3 or 4 characters, and I came up with like the first 4 characters, kind of loosely based on space, because early on we weren't sure what we were going to go for, and then we decided, oh, let's do space.
Sure, space is always good.
So like afterwards, when we decided to like kind of try to have like maybe like up to 12 characters depending on how well the Indiegogo went. I just decided, all right, let's sit down and just design as many characters as I can, and I probably designed like twice as much of the roster we have now. And I did go so wild as I probably lost a good portion of them. I did try to afterwards, I did try to save as much art assets as I could for the art book, but
I mean, there was
when we had this huge surplus of characters, we were just like, all right. No, we asked the community, what kind of characters do you guys want? Themes or specific designs, and we got a lot of response with that. Specific characters, designs, and like a lot of people asked for like an animal, and that's how Apollo came in. He's like, oh yeah, that's great.
He's just a dog.
And then
the typical space
Oberon
villain
was designed, huh?
The typical space villain.
Yeah, Oberon was designed kind of like because a lot of people were saying, oh, what about like more dark, brooding, edgy character to contrast all the cutesy stuff?
Yeah.
I worked direct, I guess as directly as I can with the community as I passed some like designs, like what do you guys think of this, and what do you think of this, and that's how he came to be. And once I kind of like had all these suggestions, I'm like, all right, I have a pretty good idea what people want. And then out of the surplus characters, I just threw those into the mix.
So do you like still have all the extra characters somewhere that maybe if you guys, I don't know, decide they want to do like additional content, you're like, oh, we've got new characters, and you just reuse the unused character models? If
we wanted to add more characters, yeah.
Sure.
I think I'm pretty much done. We got like 12, and it's been I've probably spent like several days animating each one. So
right.
I mean, even after, like, if you consider that was just during the development process, you don't know how many more we just thought about, like, pitched as ideas. Obviously, we've already, like, met our quota, and we needed to not think about that, but, like, we always had that. It's just like, man, wouldn't it be cool if that was a playable character?
Like, if anything, and it's kind of, like, hoping for the best, but Wonder Wickets 2 is always
you never know if
a place to add more
well
characters.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So just a quick question, because it just came to me. You do have so many characters. Do they actually play different from each other?
They're actually all aesthetic.
Okay.
We thought about giving them any sort of play style difference, but we wanted it all to be like an equal playing ground.
I gotcha.
And just, pick characters based on which looks the coolest.
Okay. That's a good idea to keep it fair.
Mm-hmm.
That also goes for all orbs, which is the golf ball. We wanted to make sure that none of them have anything different. We thought about it, we pitched the idea, but not only would development would take a long time, but balancing would be the biggest issue.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. The game itself is already pretty complex for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, didn't need like that level of detail of, oh, this person shoots a little bit farther than that person, so it's perfect for this kind of level. No.
Right.
We did not want to. Maybe later down the road for, again, Wonder Wickets 2 concept, but not for this one.
Sure. Right. I gotcha. So what engine are you guys using to make this?
Currently Game Maker Studio 2.
Okay.
We originally started on the original Game Maker Studio 1.4, but we had to convert.
I gotcha. Yeah,
we didn't necessarily have to, but
it made things easier.
It was there, so we're like, why not? And it did it.
Sure.
That makes it sound
the appropriate response for the appropriate response for any game developer. Why not?
Why not?
Well, it did.
It was
converting to Game Maker Studio 2 was pretty tough. It broke almost everything in the game, and it took us a month to do so. But afterwards, we're actually really glad we did because it even improved the performance of the game.
Oh, and dramatically. Awesome. In fact, we had one particular bug that one computer that we were testing on just was not rendering Wonder Wickets at all. As soon as we converted it over, it was fixed like that. It was not a problem.
Oh man, I forgot about that.
It was my
scary.
It was my father's little computer, and just wow, I can't believe that actually worked.
No, awesome. A friend of ours also had the same problem too.
Oh yeah.
So it's 2 computers out of the few we've been testing on. Imagine how many, once we put it out, how many people are not just going to be able to play the game.
Exactly. It was unbelievable how just converting to a different engine fixed so much.
Mm-hmm. Well, considering the fact that they basically just rewrote Game Maker from scratch. It makes sense that there's a lot of improvements in it.
Yeah, I've never used a game engine before like that, so I mean, if it works for you, that's great.
It's wonderful. I don't recommend it.
So now that you guys are in the home stretch here, game comes out in a couple weeks. Looking back on it, what would you guys say was your the most fun part of developing this game?
Oddly enough, it was the community.
Not oddly enough.
Okay. Well, what I mean oddly enough is that it wasn't part of oh, let's solve this problem. Yay, we found that problem. That was cool, yes, but the real thing was just how massive of a community we gathered from just showing off the game, and people were starting to flood our Discord server. We were starting to get one at least a day, and the people that we met and joined up and worked with in other different parts of Wonder Wickets has been a hugely unbelievable fun part. This is
you hear that, guys? We love you.
Yeah, we love you, Discord server, and you know the ones we're talking about. The other ones, you better watch it.
Yeah, I mean, I popped into your guys' server once or twice, and everyone there is just very nice. Has nothing but good things to say about you guys and the project and stuff. So I mean, that's really great. You guys have such a nice support group like that, backing you up like that.
Yeah.
But on the opposite end of the spectrum there, what kind of problems have you guys had? Whether that be technical or some other kind of problems that came up during development.
Oh boy, the networking code. Since the problem is that we barely had any knowledge of networking. I've done some really basic tests back on Unity, and so I got a kind of idea for network, but not enough to program, especially in Game Maker, an engine I personally don't understand. And Nick had no idea how networking worked, and I couldn't explain it to him in an engine that we had to get someone else. We've looked for different programmers. We've gone through a few here or there, trying to eventually we found Naman, who has been an unbelievably supportive young man who really knows how to do this. Quickly on in development, he was able to give us a preview of what he was able to do. We were worried that we were going to have to host our own servers, or that we were going to have to require everyone to port forward the game. No, he was able to get Steam to do all of that for us.
Wow.
Through Game Maker Studio, which I didn't even think was possible.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like, we were informed, like, games like Nidhogg was a great example, because that's a Game Maker Studio game as well, with networking.
Mm-hmm.
Really good networking. So it was possible, we just didn't know how.
Right.
And he came in and just cranked it out and made an amazing mock-up showing that can happen.
Mm-hmm.
Some other technical problems was converting over to Game Maker Studio 2, which we talked about.
Right.
That was very difficult process. Took up a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing is, Game Maker Studio 2 is great for 2D games, but when it comes to making a little bit of 3D, just by a little bit, it has a small problem, and Falls 3D is just a small issue I personally have with Game Maker Studio 2.
It's not really Game Maker's fault. It's just 2D
No, it's
in
not.
general.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's 2D in general. Having an engine that solely works off of 2D gets a little bit daunting.
Right.
But other than that, we very much... that wasn't super a problem. I would say the networking was the worst.
Yeah, because like I actually did try to learn networking myself, and it crushed me.
Yeah,
and I'm like, I cannot do this. We need somebody. And
he was scared.
Yeah, I was really scared because, like, yeah, as you mentioned, in this day and age, like, having, like, online play is so necessary, where, like, I was like, if we can't get online play, we might just not be able to do this game.
We
Right.
almost abandoned ship on the entire engine itself, if that was the case.
Unfortunately, it was also after the Indiegogo, so...
Yeah. Like, we made
so
just
we have to figure out something.
we made enough money to make it worth the time, but we then had that development hell situation where we were just like, uh-oh.
Right.
We almost backed ourselves in the wrong corner.
Mm-hmm.
But luckily, we met with great people. Thankfully, Animace really helped us out finding Namen.
Mm-hmm.
And that helped out dramatically.
Well, that's good. I'm really happy that everything ended up working out in the end for you guys. So I mean, that's all the questions I have. I mean, is there anything else you want people to know about your company or Wonder Wickets, or just anything you guys feel that the listeners should know?
Listeners should know to buy our game.
I mean, that's an
Coming
obvious
out March
pitch.
30th.
Check out our Discord server. Join in on the fun. We're really laid back guys. We have a lot of fun time. The community is wonderful, and we also want to try to hold some competitions between players. We're even working on a tournament about 1 week after launch. We're still working out the small details on that. We want everyone to try to play the game, and we want everyone to submit levels, join in the conversations, find absolutely everything that they can in this. And this game, single player, is really difficult.
I think I maybe got to like the 5th or 6th hole during the single player, what's out for the beta, and I was having some trouble figuring it out.
Yeah.
I have been trying to alleviate that, adding more tutorials, hints, and...
It's difficult, but I don't think it's unfairly difficult. It's definitely like a puzzle that you have to figure out, like a geometry puzzle. So I mean, it's never not fun, at least.
I always said to Nick when I was like playing some of the levels, I get completely frustrated, and he would hear me get angry with the game, and I say, "This is absolutely fun," and he was smiling just knowing that I myself was having a difficult time. I play puzzles on regularly. One of my favorite puzzle games is Space Chem, and I was having trouble playing Wonder Wickets. I couldn't figure out how was I messing up this shot so badly.
Oh, jeez.
But no, the tutorial's wonderful. The game mechanic is very solid. It's not the game's fault. It's just my inept playing at golf, I think.
Right.
But I'm happy about it. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm happy about it.
I'm not even the best player at our game.
No, I'm definitely not. We actually have someone who beta tests for us, and he's unbelievably been able to platinum every level.
That's
I mean,
So-
I've also been able to. That's because I have to.
Yeah,
gotta
you-
make sure it works.
But
Other than that, hey, why don't we say what our favorite character is?
Yeah.
I thought
don't
about
make
this.
this hard on me.
I know, it's really hard.
Don't make the creator choose.
I personally think my favorite character is Leo. He's the punky man who came from Earth, who has that just showmanship about him. Plus, he's actually voiced by a really popular voice actor, Pro ZD. So
he sounds familiar.
Yeah, he's very popular. Twitter. Man, I feel like I'm like blanking out on what else he's done. He's done a show. I mean, he does
he did
really great work.
Anime Crimes Division.
Yeah, that's it.
But what's more important is not whether he's popular or not. That's not really what matters to me. Is that he like nailed Leo's voice better than I could have imagined.
Right.
Like, just blew me out of the water.
Yeah, it was absolutely fantastic. Also, you did a fantastic job being a voice actor too.
Oh yeah. So by the way, people, didn't know if I almost forgot about that.
Yeah, we totally forgot about that for a second there.
Yeah. So both myself and my wife Melanie do voices in Wonder Wickets. It's not super extensive. It's mostly a lot of grunts and stuff, but we're in there. So
They did great jobs. You guys are really good.
well, thank you.
Yeah,
I remember you guys were telling me that because I'm blanking on the ghost gal's name.
Yukai.
She and one of the other characters were the guest characters, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the Indiegogo created
Right.
characters.
But you were telling me that you sent the voice sample that Melanie did for Yukai back to the creator, and they were just going on about how much they loved it, and I know that really made her day.
She did a very fantastic job. Really adorable audio lines. I really love them too.
Yeah, usually when I was because I play the beta every now and then, and she was one of the few characters that actually had her voice pack on her character. So I'd usually just play her, and it'd just be funny just hearing my wife's voice come out of it.
Hey!
It's like, I talk to this person every day. But yeah, from the what voice samples I've heard from the trailers and the beta, everyone did a really good job with their characters. I think everyone sounds right.
Yeah, we ended up like really like, how to put it, when we were running the open call for voice actors, and some of the people that we got were just like, nope, just lock it down. They're great. They're perfect.
What was it? Best part is our robot character, Io. I purposely pitched the idea that we have text-to-speech voice acting for him. And I did an extensive bit of research finding out what voices would sound great. I even tested Moonbase Alpha, the video game, tested if I wanted to like try to rip off samples from it, but not only is that someone else's game, but technically it just wasn't sounding exactly what I was hoping for.
Right.
However, there is maybe a little hint in his dialogue if you pay attention.
Yeah. So everybody go out and dig out those secrets.
Oh yeah.
That juicy Wonder Wickets lore.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, it's got. I honestly, I don't know if I could pick a favorite character. I really. I know. I really like Pixis only because I really like how Nick likes to draw ladies in hoodies, and I think it's adorable.
There's a lot of characters that people just fall in love with, and it's just like it's super hard to choose. I absolutely agree.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's Nick did a fantastic job, and I'm really happy to have such an amazing cast of characters that it's when you actually have to fight to choose and thought.
Right.
Plus, every character has multiple colors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do like that everyone has like the Smash Bros. Color variants.
Yeah.
I remember one night in the Discord server, we spent like an entire evening just because Nick put up like the BMP character, just like of all the characters. So we just spent the night just like making our own color variants.
That
was fun. I did base a lot of the final colors off of a lot of people's suggestions.
Yeah. I haven't checked. I know the beta got updated recently, and I haven't gone in to check out what all the new variants and stuff are. I'm excited to see this game in its final release form, and just seeing how it's all come together like that.
And we still have a few more surprises coming down the road.
Oh damn!
So yeah, a lot of secrets that we haven't let anyone else know.
Well, that's good. I mean, it gives you something to look forward to then.
Yeah.
But yeah. So is there anything else you guys want the listeners to know before we wrap this up?
I think that should be about it. Unless you got anything, Nick.
Unless I haven't said, unless I've already said it too much, just buy our game.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure, guys. I mean. Check out Wonder Wickets. It's on Steam right now. It's not on, like, can't play it right now. No. But you can go to
the demo.
Right.
Yeah, we have the demo available for everyone. Go to the Steam page, check the demo section onto the side. Mm-hmm. That's a pretty solid build of the game. Of course, not with the newest features.
Right.
But
yeah.
Yeah.
I should mention the demo was like supposed to be like, oh yeah, I got everything done. It's basically great. And then afterwards, I added so much onto it. But
yeah, we've tweaked.
It's still pretty close to definitive.
Yeah, so I'll make sure to put a link to the Steam page in the description. Comes out March 30th, so when the end of the month comes around, guys, just pick it up. I think you'll have like a really fun time with it. I have, and I'm not saying that as a biased person because I'm in the game, but
he's saying it because he's a biased person in the game.
Exactly. But no, this game is really adorable. I think the mechanics of it are really creative. I mean, I like that it's not just a golf game that, like, even getting to the hole, the holes are like a black hole and you have to, like, work with its gravitational pull, and I think that's really inventive. So I mean, the gameplay is really good. The characters are amazing. So, I mean, I implore everybody to go support these guys. They put a lot of hard work into this game, and it's really great. Seeing this finally come out into the full release. So I congratulate you guys on a job well done.
Thank you. Also, remember, it's on a Friday. It's a payday. There's no excuse.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, now come on.
That had to be strategic, right?
No, the real strategy was it was the end of quarter one.
Oh, okay.
And we originally said that we're going to launch it before quarter one. I mean, out on quarter one. And so it's just like, well, if we're going to do it on quarter one, we better do it the 30th.
Well, that works.
No, that wasn't like so much the fact that we chose it because of that. It just happened to be like, this seems like a pretty good day. Yeah. And also, it's still quarter one, so that's great.
There you go.
We had to do it before April Fool's Day, or else no one would believe us.
No one would believe you. Well, guys, thank you for sitting down with me and talking about your, your process and how this game came together. And, I wish you guys nothing but success and hope the sales of Wonder Wickets goes well for you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks. And thank you for having us here.
Of course,
Yes.
yeah, man. I know our
This is a lot
audience
of fun.
is small. Yeah, I know our audience is small, but if we can get at least one person to check out your game, hopefully that helps.
I mean, I guess you're right.
I mean, yeah, I guess maybe. I mean, I'm not the game people, so I don't know how to, do metrics and stuff.
The game people.
The game people. So, so yeah, guys, check out Wonder Wickets. Have fun.
All right.
But I think that does it for us this week. Thank you all for listening, and we will catch you all again next week.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Ink and Paint Club podcast. Be sure to subscribe to the channel so you can catch a new episode every week. Also be sure to follow us on our Facebook and Twitter so you can keep up with the show. Links are in the description. We'll see you next week.